What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Logisticalstyles coming at you with another video. I got a tip for you for the Rane 12 this time. It's something that I came across that not too recently, since I just got my first 12, and I've been trying to do some comparison between the 12 and the actual 1200. And I was playing some tunes yesterday and I realized that my deck was off. The 0 point was not actually correct for the Rane 12. I was playing two of the exact same songs and they both had them locked in at the 0 point, and they were drifting from each other. So I checked the 1200, checked the strobe, made sure that the dots were moving or not moving at the 0 point, and that was correct. And then when I took a look at the Rane 12, which I just recently got, I noticed that at the 0 point the dots were still moving slightly backwards. So the 0 point wasn't off, and then once I did a little adjusting, I realized that my actual 0 was somewhere between the 0 notch and the first notch on the positive side. So the pitch was off and needed to be recalibrated. I checked online, I did a lot of Googling, I checked the Serato forums, I checked the Rane forum, I checked the Serato Rane 12 users on Facebook group and even on YouTube, and I couldn't find any information about this. So finally I gave Rane a call and I got to speak with somebody on the phone, and they sent me the instructions on how to calibrate the pitch. And this is something that is not even in the manual. It's just something you have to go to the source to find out how to do this. So I did. I tried it. It worked great for me, perfectly for me. I got my pitch back to 0, locked in, and figure I'd make a quick video to show you how to do it. So let's dive in. It's really quick and easy, and hopefully this helps some of you people out there. Okay, so I'll try to give a little bit more background before we just jump right into the calibration of what I was talking about by looking at the strobe to see if my 0 was correct or not. This platter right here, just like all platters, even 1200 or any other brand, they have a strobe, which is basically the light that shines onto a pattern on the platter. And what that does, or what that helps you determine, is if your deck is actually spinning at the right speed. So these dots do certain things depending on what the pitch is doing. If the pitch is locked in at 0, the big dots are supposed to stand still when you have the platter moving. You can see it here in this video that the dots are standing still. So if I move the pitch forward a little bit, the dots begin to move in one direction. If I go back, the dots begin to move in the other direction. But when you're in 0, they're supposed to stay still. That's not what I was getting. What I was getting at the 0 point was a little something more like this. My dots were slowly going backwards, and when I was, even though it was showing the light was turned on and it was supposed to be at 0, I was getting that. And I noticed that when I was doing a side-by-side comparison with a turntable. So let's just jump into the actual calibration process. So the first thing you got to do is turn off the power to your Rane 12 and disconnect it from either your laptop or your 72 if that's what you're using. So you have to disconnect the USB and turn off the power. On this particular 12, it has the recessed power connections on the bottom. Some of them have a power switch on the back. I think the first batch had the power switch on the back, and then they made a quick modification and put it on the bottom. So I've got my 12 turned off. I've got the USB disconnected. So now the next step will be to turn the 12 back on, but make sure you hold down these 3 pitch range buttons while you turn it back on. So let's lift it up, hold down the 3 buttons, turn on the unit, and then you will see 2 flashing red LEDs. The instructions they gave me said there would be 3, but I've done this a couple of times and I only get 2. So 2 flashing LEDs. You can release the buttons, and then from here you take the pitch all the way to the lowest point. The platter will start moving, lights will come on, then bring it all the way to the highest point. Platter's still moving, then bring it back to 0 and hit the 3 buttons again. You get that blink on that light that indicates that the calibration has happened and it's complete. So from there you can turn off the 12, reconnect it to your laptop or 72 if that's what you're working with. Turn the 12 back on. This is what it normally does when it turns on. You get the flashing lights. You can choose a deck. It starts spinning, and you'll notice that the 0, I've already done this calibration before, so the deck was correct, but it's still correct. The dots are still, the 0 is illuminated. If I come forward a little bit, you'll see my dots are moving forward. That means that's correct. If I go backwards a little bit, the dots are going backwards, and back at 0, the dots are still. So the deck is calibrated, my pitch is good, and if I had another one, I could do the same thing to that deck and I would have matching pitch on both decks. So it's that simple. Thanks for watching. Keep checking out the channel. Go ahead, subscribe. I got some more videos coming. I've got a lot more content, and I'm going to really try to be a little bit more consistent about putting videos out. So if you subscribe, you will get the alerts. And once again, thank you for checking out the video, and keep spinning.